Hi everyone, it's Gina from Gina K Designs and welcome back to another 5-minute card video. Today I'm going to show you a fun technique using Masking Magic strips and the Sassy Stripes stencil to create a crisscross design or something that looks a little bit like a check design or a gingham type of design. So I'm starting with some Masking Magic strips, and here I have a piece of cardstock that I've cut using the Master Layouts 2 die set. I'm going to use the 1/2-inch Masking Magic strips, but you can use the 1/4-inch ones or the 1/8 of an inch one, depending on how much of this design you want to cover the middle of your piece of cardstock. For this design, I want the design itself to be a little bit smaller, and then I want the design that I stamp on top to extend past the design. So I'm using a wider border, and that's why I'm using the 1/2-inch Masking Magic strips. So this is the hardest part of the design, or the hardest part of the card project, is trying to get the Masking Magic strips right to the edge. And of course, I'm trying not to get my head in the way too much, but if I wasn't making a video right now, it's very easy to see. All right, once all that's in place, you want to make sure that you press everything down, and if it's not perfect, the Masking Magic can be lifted up and moved, and it'll never tear your paper. So I'm going to put the Sassy Stripes stencil down on top, and I'm going to secure it with a little bit of washi tape on the sides. When you're using a design like this, you want to make sure that you don't rub ink in a circular motion. So I'm starting with some honey mustard ink, and you can see I'm just kind of stroking back and forth along the Sassy Stripes stencil. I'm not doing a circular motion because there's a lot of movement in this stencil, and if you do a circular motion, you're going to lift the different areas of the stencil and ink's going to get under there. Okay, so now I'm going to take the washi tape off and I'm going to shift the stencil a 1/4 turn to create a check pattern or a gingham pattern. It kind of looks like a plaid. This is the perfect pattern for fall and winter cards. My second color is Sweet Mango. Now I didn't clean my stencil in between here. You can if you want, but these colors are so close I'm not really worried about it contaminating my ink pad. And again, I'm going back and forth, rubbing up and down along those stripes. Now, once I have the whole thing done, I'm going to take this stencil off, and then I'm going to use the brush that had the honey mustard ink, the first color that I used, and I'm just going to rub all over in a circular motion to fill in the white areas. I'm not laying down a lot of color, just a light mist of color, but that's really going to make those borders stand out more. And this is really the magic part of Masking Magic, is when you get to peel the strips off and see the beautiful border and the crisp design left behind. I can never get enough of this part. Look how cool that is. So now I'm going to put this piece of cardstock into my MISTI stamping tool. I already have my stamp loaded in there. And I'm going to take one of those used pieces of Masking Magic and I'm just going to block off a little bit of the bottom of the card. This way my design won't extend past the edge on any of the 4 sides. The stamp I'm using is from the delightful Daisies stamp set by Arjita Singh. And I'm going to ink it up using some Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink. Our Black Onyx ink can be used with colored pencils in Gamsol and also with Copic markers. If you're a watercolor fan, then I would suggest using our Obsidian amalgam ink. All right, so I'm going to give this another coat, make sure it gets a little bit darker. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of Copic marker to this design. Not much, I just want to intensify around the base. Now you can see when I pull that off, it just makes the design look better that none of it is extending off the bottom. Now I'm using an E33 Copic marker and I'm just kind of flicking it from the base where the petal would come out of the center of the flower up just a little bit to intensify the flower, maybe make it jump off the paper a little bit more. But this isn't a drastic color, so you don't really notice it once everything just settles, but it does intensify the flowers. Super easy technique. You don't have to be a coloring expert to do that. And then once I layered this onto a black panel from Master Layouts 2, and then a white card base, I'm just adding a few of the metal pearls, the metallic pearls onto that card, and then I'm adding a greeting from the Mixed Messages sentiment strips that I cut out with one of our sentiment strips dies. And that's my finished card. Well, I hope you like this technique, and I hope that you'll give it a try. Stay tuned to my channel for more 5-minute card videos and more Stampin' Chat videos too. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again real soon.